So, you're a business owner dedicated to the significant and sustainable growth of both you and your business. Welcome to the Add a Zero podcast.
Hi, I'm Jay Allen from My True North and the host of the Add a Zero podcast. And today we're talking about our ideal target audience, the conscientious business owner. Well, what does that actually mean? Surely all business owners are conscientious, or they perhaps ought to be. Well, to get into that, perhaps we need to understand the importance of why it is that we share that with you as a watcher, listener on the podcast. So many people, when it comes to marketing, get their marketing particularly wrong. They'll start talking about their audience, and then when I ask them about the audience of who it is that their target audience, who it is that they're selling to, they'll tell me, well, anyone who, and in all of my experience, having spoken in countries across the world, 34 countries and counting, to about 400,000 other business owners, I've met some really interesting people from all over the globe with some quite interesting names. I've met two people called Jesus. I've met a guy called Pi. I've met various people called Goliath and Spiros. I've never met anybody called anybody. And yet the moment that you say anyone who, nobody springs to mind. I can't think of a single person who might want what it is that you're selling. When you use the phrase anyone who, I've lost you straight away. So it's important to be able to have a defined key ideal target audience to be able to speak to, in order that the message that we then convey is relevant to them in their business. So we work, or at least My True North, and I work specifically with conscientious business leaders. So what does that mean? For some, you'll have heard of the B Corp movement, a movement that started about 9-10 years ago now and is slowly evolving throughout the rest of the world on businesses that understand the importance of not just profit margin, although all B Corp businesses are profitable, but the importance of doing good business is business for good and vice versa. Business for good, doing things that are for the benefit of the community, for the profession, for the world, that are measuring their impact as such, as well as their profitability. And they understand that doing good business is good for the community, good for the profession, good for the universe. They understand their carbon footprint. They understand the impact of where it is that they buy their goods or products or services from, and the footprint that that has. They're doing things with a conscientious outcome. They're contributing back towards either their local community or a charity, or they're making sure that the business that they do isn't just about profit for shareholders, but about being able to have a better impact in the environment to which we operate within. And don't get me wrong, not all of our clients are B Corp clients, but we do support the B Corp movement well, and we endorse everything it is that they hold dearest to them. You might have heard of the expression corporate social responsibility, something that big companies have been on for quite a while now and is filtered through to the impact that we have. And a lot of businesses might have a charitable arm or something that we do of giving back. Certainly for the 10 years or so that My True North have been around, we've had an ongoing annual commitment to being able to donate part of our proceeds back to a registered charity. We've chosen to support Combat Stress, the mental health charity for armed force veterans, of which I am not only one of, but certainly having previously received help and support from Combat Stress when I first left the military. And our ongoing commitment is to be able to support them in their endeavours also. And by you being a client of My True North, that for every person, that for every pound that's spent with us, that some of that money goes on to be able to support the charity also, as part of a corporate social responsibility, being able to understand where our pound is generated and how it's being spent, not only for us, but others benefit also by a result of the interaction that we have. And then more recently, the new one on the block, the ESG agenda, the environmental social governance, understanding the environmental impact that our business has on the universe, and perhaps using what we call a PESTLE assessment to be able to understand more about the political impact it has on our business, the environmental impact, the social impact, the technological impact, the legal impact, and the environmental impact that we have in what we do and how we move forward. ESG, environmental social governance. But beyond that, we work best with business owners that are keen to not just build and grow, but to build a legacy that they can live and leave. So what does that mean, and how does that impact you as a listener? Well, first of all, I work best with business owners that understand that the impact that we make, the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis, don't just impact us and our decisions and our lives and our families, but of those that are around us. Be it the way in which we interact with suppliers, who we choose as a supplier, the negotiations that we have, and ensuring that we get the right price for the right product or service. About understanding the impact of payment terms and the flow of cash into, through, and from the business. And not just when we pay our own invoices, but when we ask to be paid from our customers and clients, and understanding the flow of cash and the impact that can have on the bottom line. That when we employ people, that we have the best intent, and it's not just about a bum on a seat earning and living and generating a profit for us, but we go above and beyond to be able to ensure that we understand more about that individual, their likes and dislikes, their aspirations, their growth plan, so that we can create a career for them rather than just a job, that we can help them understand that as we grow, they grow, and as we benefit, they benefit also, to be able to build an environment of people where they feel safe and supported, that we can protect them, that we can help and support them in other aspects of their life, and know that we are a supportive organisations to understand the individual challenges that we all face on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. But beyond that, how we go about being able to conduct ourselves outside of work, to be able to ensure that we live who we are, that we are a brand ambassador for us and our brand and what we stand for, our vision, our values, our culture. And it's not something we simply turn on as we show up into the workplace, that it's something that we live and eat and breathe. A conscientious business owner isn't all about profit margin, although we want to be able to ensure that we've got some really successful, profitable businesses. But it's about understanding as to what that means for us. Are we shaping the industry? Are we challenging the status quo? Are we making things a better place? Are we going to leave this better than it was when we first arrived within it? Be that our own business, be that community of which we serve and where we employ people from, be that our profession, and can we challenge the status quo? Can we move the needle? Can we start making a bigger impact than that we do from each and individual customer? A conscientious business owner is all about being able to live something rather than just simply leave something behind. It's not about the how much do I cash out for. It's about the impact that we have whilst we're in charge, understanding that the seat that I sit in as managing director determines the actions that I need to be able to take, and knowing full well that this sets a precedence for whoever sits in this seat in the future and moves forward and takes the business to the next level. I'm really fortunate that I spent a fair amount of time with my grandmother growing up, my paternal grandmother. She spent a lot of time talking to me and helping me understand values in a far bigger and wider sense than that of simply acknowledging, petty cash or pocket money. She would often say to me that success is not measured by all of the things that you have, but by what you're able and willing to give. And a conscientious business owner isn't all about making more money, although that is key to what we want people to be able to achieve, but about making sure that the money that we make is made in the right way, generated authentically and ethically, that we do so transparently, that we're able to help and support each other to grow, and that as we move forward, that we are setting a precedence, we are trailblazers, we're leading the way that others in our stead can follow. Conscientious business owner is all about being able to say, what do you stand for? And are you standing for it? And we know that the Adazero program works best when we're willing to be able to be challenged by who we are, by the things that have led us to where we are today, to ensure that we're making those Kaizen philosophy of incremental improvements on ourselves as well as our business. If that sounds something that you resonate with or would like to know more about, then I'm keen to be able to have a conversation to understand as to how we can support you further to be able to add a zero. Don't forget, our mission is to eradicate unemployment in this country. And the only way we can do that is by working with conscientious business owners just like yourself to be able to significantly and sustainably help you to grow your business, that collectively we create demand for more and more new roles than there are those actively seeking employment. The SME market in the UK right now is almost 6 million business owners. I want the chance and the opportunity to be able to work with as many of those as possible to help them to put the systems and processes and people in place to be able to scale their business. And by doing so, if we can create more demand than the 650, 700,000 people a year that are actively out there trying to progress themselves rather than just a job, but into a career, if we can create 700,000 new roles by growing your business effectively, then collectively we could change the dialogue in this country from one of want to one of what can I do back? How can I give back? What do I need to do more of? How can I be more of service to another human being? If that sounds of interest, then perhaps it's time we had a better, deeper one-to-one conversation. Simply go onto the My True North website, mytruenorth.biz, and click on the Contact Us link in order to be able to book a discovery call or a virtual coffee to be able to talk about what it might look like in being able to collectively move forward and apply some of this Adazero methodologies to you and your business. If that's not something of relevance, if all you're interested in is the profit and how to be able to grow the bottom line and I need more cash, and then the chances are that My True North and the Adazero program isn't for you. And that's okay. It's okay that we're not for everyone. It's okay that we're possibly not even for the majority. Because I know that collectively we can make a bigger difference than we will ever achieve on our own. And I invite you to be part of that journey, to be able to add a zero to your bottom line conscientiously. If you're interested in learning more, the first step is to simply click on the link in the show notes and join the Adazero Facebook group, an opportunity to be able to grow a growing community of conscientious business leaders, where every week I share a live about more within the methodology from Adazero, and I share my 3 biggest learnings, the things that I've taken from working with business owners of the things that are making the biggest impact right now in business. Simply join the Facebook, answer a few questions to be able to have access to our community, and join us every week live where I talk about the learnings from Adazero and how they've been implemented in our clients' businesses that week and the impact it's continuing to have. I look forward to being able to see you there and to be able to make a marked difference to your business also. God bless, take care. I'll see you next week.
That's all for this episode. As always, we really thank you for listening and welcome your comments, thoughts, and suggestions. So please do drop us a line by emailing podcast@mytruenorth.biz. And don't forget, if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button on whichever platform you're listening to this through. And tell your colleagues and business network all about who we are. You've been listening to the Add a Zero podcast presented by Jay Allen. Brought to you in association with My True North, the UK's leading ethical coaching company.